Okay, so this is a quick training on how to submit a second lien to a second lien provider. We want to hit submit a new loan. We go to IBC. IBC is really good for their closing costs are pretty good. They're much easier to work from an underwriting standpoint. A little bit tighter on the box in terms of the second lien providers that are the best. Number one is Frost Bank, far and away. Anytime they're putting 10% down or more, that is locked and loaded your best place to go. Okay. Number two, we go to IBC. They're a little more restrictive on their box. They don't always fit. So sometimes you can't work with IBC. But if you can, you want to go to them. Then the next one after that I probably work with it the most is Achieva. Okay. Now Achieva used to be great because they literally would take anything that DU took. So like there was like no additional overlay. So like from a simplicity standpoint, it was great. Like I knew if I got my DU approval, I'm going to Achieva. Like if I run into any issues, because sometimes Frost has some overlays, IBC has some overlays, but Achieve has kind of been becoming more and more frustrating to work with. They're a huge pain in the butt sometimes on the underwriting part. So even though they say there's no overlays, they like eat you up on conditions, and their closing costs are really, really high. But you can get it done, right? So it's kind of was always my last place to go. But we've added this new one, True West, that is also really good. So those are kind of the four you want to kind of start to get familiarized with. A second lien is really going to be helpful to you when, and this may or may not fall into kind of your product mix of, your clientele, but when you've got someone that's buying at like, let's say 550 to 600,000, and they want to put 5% down, taking that loan jumbo, not a good idea. We can do it, but the rate sucks because PMI is hit into the rate. Also, like if they're buying it like want to put 10% down or even 15% down, anywhere from about 450 to like 750, usually it actually is better for the borrower to break it up into two loans because then there's no MI on the first. There's no MI, and number one, and then number two, the pricing on the first loan is done at 20% down payment. So all of a sudden now that rate on that first lien is a lot better, even though the rate on the second lien maybe is like 5.5% or 6%. They can pay that off relatively quickly. So, all right. So IBC, let's do. You go to submit new loan. Looks like there's a process here. Hit continue. All right. So type in the name. Okay. So then this is the form you're going to fill out, right? So for Zach Harder, we got individual credit. You put Summit's name, Summit funding, our company address, loan officer, put my name, my phone number, my email. Our name is Zach Hardaway. Our email, our cell, subject, address for the contract. It's going to be owner occupied. It's going to be purchase, seller, single family residence, PUD, planned urban development, townhome. Those are all going to be in the same category, single family residence. First time home buyer, I believe he is. You can check on page 3 of the 1003 to confirm. Term, we're usually going to want to sell the 30 or 15. That's always the best route to go. 30-year term, or it's a 15-year mortgage, but it's spread over 30 years, so it helps with the payment. Second lien amount, we'll plug that in. That's typically going to be, if you ever have questions about where the second lien stuff goes, here's a quick training on this. This will actually probably be helpful. Is the second lien will go 3 places. This other financing, you type it in right there. Loan amount, interest rate, term. So 75,000, 5.25, 360, something like that. You're also going to go down here under subordinate financing, click that. Make sure all of these boxes are blue. If they're ever orange, something is wrong. You type in the amount there, so like let's say 75,000 for example. It's going to then populate and it should give you your combined loan to value. Okay. Now this is a different mortgage, so the math is on that's not working. So you check there, make sure that's right. It should then funnel over if you did it right to right here, and it should say 75,000 auto populate in there. Okay. Second lien amount, type that in there. So those price, appraised value, combined loan to value. There is no, we're not going to do rate down loan. Put in the closing date. Always click firm. We don't miss close dates. Dallas. And then what you do is you would attach the documents here. So if we need to get a 1008, do you know how to do a 1008 and 1003 to print those? You go to File Manager, or actually, sorry, you go to Print. Yep. And then print the 1003 and 1008, right? Okay, cool. So you know how to do that. Appraisal on this one won't be in yet. Assets, account statements. You can just click attach, and you start attaching the files, and then you hit finish. So that'll be the process for submitting it. So if you can go ahead and try and submit for Zach Hardaway, that would be great. And I'm going to hit end on this.